guys and ghouls, and welcome back to BackAlly Horror. I'm Ali and this is the home of all things horror. In honour of February, which is last month obviously, being Women in Horror Month, I thought it would be a good idea to do my top 10 actresses in the horror genre. So, this is just my top 10, let me know yours in the comments below. Also, this list is in no particular order, so they're just all jumbled up in there, apart from the first one. So we'll jump straight in at number 10 with Danielle Harris. She was inundated into Fangaria's Hall of Fame in 2012, and she is most known for her role as Jamie Lloyd in Halloween 4 and 5, then returning in the remake as Annie Brackett. She is also in the Hatchet film series, which is where I first saw her act, and which is also my favourite role of hers. I would love to see her in a lot more horror films to come, because I do think that she has great potential and I'd love to see her in more films. In at number 9, we have Cassandra Peterson. We all know who this dark beauty is. Of course, she is the one and only Elvira, the Mistress of Dark. Elvira first came to the screen in 1981 for the TV series Movie Macabre, and then she got her feature film debut in 1988. Elvira has always stood out to me as I was growing up, as she made it seem cool to be a girl into horror. You could still be beautiful and dark. All that matters is expressing your love for horror or anything else that you are passionate about. Next up at number 8, we have my all-time favourite actress. However, she is not recognised a lot in the horror genre, and that is Rachel Weisz. Her most famous role regarding horror is that of Evelyn, or Evie, in The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. These two are literally my favourite movies ever. I am obsessed with these films. Oh, and before anybody says, the third one, that piece of trash, it's not a trilogy, it's 2 films only. The third one can go in the bin. She was great in the role, and just like Elvira making it cool to be a horror lover, Rachel for me in this role made me feel like it was cool to be smart. I was obsessed with Egyptian history when I was younger, so I really resonated with this character. She also starred alongside Keanu Reeves in Constantine, which is just an amazing movie, and I really hope we manage to get a sequel at some point. At number 7, we have an amazing scream queen, Heather Langenkamp. Most known for her role as Nancy Thompson in Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street in 1984, and then she returned in number 3 in 1987. She'll be returning to our horror screens in Mike Flanagan's Midnight Club, and Langenkamp is also a prosthetic makeup artist coordinator. Some of the films she worked on was Dawn of the Dead and the amazing film which is Cabin in the Woods. At number 6, we have Vera Farmiga. Most notable in the horror community for her portrayal as Lorraine Warren in the paranormal franchise that is the Conjuring universe. This is my favourite character of hers for me. Her and Patrick Wilson's chemistry on screen just works well, and they gel together really well. They pull off the Warrens beautifully. I have to say my favourite Conjuring film is number 2, but I'll save that for my ranking video, which you guys can check out at another time. However, a favourite role of hers, for me, is in Orphan, as the adoptive mother of Esther. This film does not get enough recognition in my opinion, as it's such a phenomenal film with tons of rewatchability. His role in this was perfectly done as well, which I don't expect anything less from this lady. Finally, for Vera, she graced our TV screen in 2013 alongside Freddie Highmore in Bates Motel, playing the role of Norma Bates, Norma's mother. Wow, what a show! This has to be up there for me as one of the best horror TV shows. The two alongside each other was gold. I'm basically just repeating myself at this point because she's amazing in absolutely everything that she does. She's just a legend, she's beautiful, she's amazing, she's talented. Enough said. Next up at number 5, we have the godmother of horror, Lin Shaye. Shaye has appeared in over 100 feature films. She is classed as a scream queen for her multiple roles in many horror films including Alone in the Dark, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Critters 1 and 2, Ouija and the prequel, Amityville A New Generation, Wes Craven's A New Nightmare, Maniacs 1 and 2, Tales of Halloween, Room to Rent, The Grudge 2020, Call, co-starring Tobin Bell. However, her most famous role in the horror community, and my personal favourite, is that of Elsie in the Insidious franchise with Lee Wannell and James Wan. She appears in all 4 films alongside Patrick Wilson and Lee himself, and with 5 in production, I really hope somehow she makes a return. Out of the Insidious films, I'd have to say 1 and 4 are my favourite. But then again, I just love them all, so it's really hard to choose, because they're just all amazing. Number 4, we have Neve Campbell, one of the best actresses in the horror world, and she has given us one of the best characters in Sidney Prescott from Scream. I first watched Scream when I was about 4 and not by choice. My older cousins were watching it around me and I was terrified by the mask. However, I've always remembered this film and always remembered 2 women from it. Drew Barrymore for her death, along with the betrayal of getting that horror question wrong, like, I mean, she deserved to die at that point. And Neve Campbell for being the best badass final girl. Her role as Prescott is my favourite. However, she was also in the film The Craft, which I do know a lot of people love her in that. Despite being in such a great horror movies, Neve isn't a fan of horror, which explains why we don't see her in many other horror films. However, I am looking forward to her returning with David Arquette and Courtney Cox in number 5, which hopefully is really good. Next up at number 3, we have Kathy Bates, my personal favourite. We know her best for the performance as the crazy number 1 fan Annie Wilkes in Stephen King's Misery, which was my introduction to her, and I automatically fell in love with her performance. It was outstanding, and I suppose that's why it's still considered one of her best performances to date. For me, somewhere else, I fell in love with her all over again with the anthology series American Horror Story. She started appearing in this in the season of Coven as Delphine Lalaurie, which was a great performance. My favourite performance of hers so far has to be probably in Freak Show as Ethel the Bearded Lady, or in Roanoke, because she's just brutal in that, so that was amazing. Sticking with my American Horror Story theme, at number 2 we have my crush, my love, the most amazing actress ever to grace horror TV screens, and that is Sarah Paulson. That might have been a bit of an exaggeration, but I just love the girl. She starred in American Horror Story from the very beginning. As the seasons went on, her roles increased until she was the star and show of the anthology series. My favourite performance so far is Lana Winters from Asylum. It's also my favourite season. She was also in Ratchet and played Nurse Ratchet, which was a phenomenal performance, and I need and want more seasons of that in my life right away. She is an extremely talented actress, and I can't wait to see more of her in season 10 of American Horror Story. If you guys want to check out my American Horror Stories trailer reaction, the link to that will be at the end of this video. Now for the final queen on the list. Now, I said this list wasn't in any particular order. However, number 1 is. There is only one woman who should be at the top of anybody's list when it comes to Scream Queen, and that is the most amazing, most beautiful, most talented Jamie Lee Curtis. Daughter of one of the first Scream Queens, Janet Leigh from Psycho, it's no doubt that horror runs in her veins. She is best known for her portrayal as Laurie Strode in the Halloween franchise, going up against the shape of Michael Myers. She has also given us many more amazing horror movies such as The Fog, Prom Night, Terror Train, and Road Games. Not to mention the latest whodunit thriller, Knives Out, which I thought was a great movie by Rian Johnson. I can't wait to see Curtis back in action this year in Halloween Kills, and I'm hoping she makes it to Halloween Ends. This woman made me and many others fall in love with the horror genre, and I for one am extremely grateful for that, and that is why she will always be my number 1 Scream Queen. So there it is, guys, my top 10 women in horror. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the list. Let me know your top 10 women in horror in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video, and until the next one, guys, stay horrid.